correct, but it is a commemoration of the time when the pilgrims came to America and in pursuit of a religious freedom, of a new way of life to get away from the British monarch. In any case, dito sa Pilipinas, happy Thanksgiving na lang din sa inyo dahil buhay pa tayo, may kinakain pa tayo, and nakakapagtrabaho yung ilan sa atin. And for those who may be undergoing challenges, let us remain thankful. Thankful for family, loved ones, for friends, thankful for our health, whatever. In all things, give thanks. In any case, today is November 27, 2020. It's a Friday. Thank God I made it to another Friday. And same to all of you. You are watching us. You are watching the program Agenda via Signal TV channels 8 and 250. And kung hindi pa ako nagpakilala at hindi pa nga ako nagpapakilala, hindi nyo ko kakilala, ako po si Cito Beltran, your host for the day. And today, we are going to be touching on many topics, of course, that's on the news, and we will focus on two particular guests, interviewee on agenda today. First, a regular of agenda, the President of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Domingo Cayosa. And baka sabihin nyo, ay, lawyer na naman, IBP na naman. Pay attention. Pay very close attention to what is going on with the anti-terrorism law. Kasi batas na po yun, hindi na po yung proposal, batas na. Pero the law is being challenged in the Supreme Court for many of the defects of the law. And normally, when a challenge is being made in court, especially in the Supreme Court traditionally would go, okay, freeze the ball. Nobody moves, nobody acts. Let us magistrates review the matter on hand. Para sa ganon, ay masuri and walang makalamang, walang makaabante. But apparently, according to what Team Agenda has gathered, some authorities, hindi ko napapangalanan kasi baka sabihin naman ninyo na nanggagatong ako. Some authorities have been eavesdropping baga, surveilling, nagsusurveillance on some of those who filed the petitions in the Supreme Court. Some lawyers claim to be being watched, being, ewan ko kung natatap yung kanila, kasi hindi na tinatap yung telepono ini-scan na lang ngayon. Yung mga sasabihin, hindi pwede digital. Please, where there's a will, there's a way. And some, in any case, the concern is that in spite of the debates going on, the law is already being implemented by certain parties. And actually, the reality is some people have allegedly been arrested. Meron pang araw, ewan ko ito, tatanong ko nga kay Attorney Cayosa, may dalawa raw na ita na dinampot ng otoridad, and these indigenous people were picked up and charged as, or I don't know if they were charged, but arrested on the basis of the anti-terrorism law. So we'll find out from Attorney Cayosa, and kanina nag-eavesdrop ako sa usapan nila ni Gabi. Pero sa akin, sabi ko nga, I want to find out also about the IBP. Ano ba yung IBP, Integrated Bar of the Philippines? You know, we always guest people from the IBP. People talk about the IBP, but no one really tells the public about the purpose and function of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. And then after Attorney Cayosa, we will speak with a friend. I see him maybe once every 3 years. Kasi iba rin yung mga mundo namin Athletics pa rin siya. Ako, matagal ko na nilubayan yung athletics. Chappy Callanta, he is a strength and conditioning coach. Kasi parang nagpaparinig itong Team Agenda kay Kuya Cito. Okay, I get it. I'm supposed to do my strength and conditioning starting next week because of all the injuries I have. In case you people are saying, what's wrong with you, Cito? You've lost weight. You're so energetic. I am driven by caffeine. kape-kape lang po ang dumadaloy sa mga ugat ko. We will speak with Chappy Callanta, strength conditioning coach, and because may mga pronouncements daw yung World Health Organization, etc. Pag-usapan natin yan. We are still trying to get Mayor Abby Binay, okay, para mapag-usapan ng Makati, and Mayor Marcy Chodoro of Marikina. Just for update, kamustahin naman sila, etc., and give them a platform to at least address the public regarding their respective concerns. Pero nakapending pa rin tayo dyan. In any case, at this stage, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Bannering today's paper, Metro Manila mayors want to retain GCQ throughout the holidays. Ano pa bang bago? Okay na itong GCQ, liberal GCQ, or gentle GCQ, di ba? Gawin na lang natin GGCQ, hindi Gentleman's Quarterly, ha? Gentle GCQ. Bakit? I think what's happening here is the Metro Manila mayors are worried that if there's any change of the quarantine standard for Metro Manila, biglang magko-congregate, lalo na yung simbang gabi, lalo na yung mga family, mga Noche Buena, mga caroling, tsaka yung mga party-party. So that's understandable. Okay. At the top of the page of the Philippine Star front page, the Philippines is signing a deal today with the United Kingdom vaccine maker AstraZeneca, as mentioned, for 2 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. So kung 2 million, times 1,000 plus mo na lang yon, ayun na yun. Para lang doon sa 2 million yun, ha? Hindi pa po yung kalahatan yan. Below that story, the text line 8888 for reporting corrupt officials has been recently opened, and to collect the reward money, citizens must identify themselves, says the palace. Magkano yung reward? Magkano yung bala? Magkano yung palibing? Alam niyo po, madaling magsumbong. May mga magsusumbong para makakuha ng reward. Di bali sana, okay lang sana kung yung reward ay napakalaking pera, pwede ka namang ibang bansa na hindi ka na mahahabol ng sinumbong mo. Ewan ko. No, I mean, I encourage people to report. Pero don't be foolhardy. Baka mamaya sabihin nyo, oh, so-and-so is corrupt, so-and-so is corrupt. And then, suddenly, you find your name all over the papers. Kasi marami sa amin na alam na namin yan yung please don't quote me. This is off the record. Please don't mention my name. Tapos merong isa diyang hilong tililong, biglang nandoon na yung pangalan ninyo. Nako po. But in any case, if you can report without sending your name, basta bigyan nyo yung detalye. Ito po, si ganito, ito yung kanyang kulasisi, ito yung kanyang kotse, ito yung kanyang relo, pero ang sweldo niya ay ganito lang. Ayun, game on. Okay, we also, and here is for those who love soccer, football, etc. Nalilito na nga ako kung which is which kasi may Amerikano, may football. Yung mga European, may soccer. Pero dito sa Pilipinas, soccer and football, nahalo na. Okay, the legend, Diego Maradona, has died of a heart attack at age 60. So yan po, no, medyo I'm sure magluluksa lahat yung mga nasa tiga-Argentina and many of those who really love football or soccer, whatever term you use to describe it. They will mourn for an icon, and sabi nga nila the hand of God kasi ginagamit daw siya ng Diyos doon sa pagpapanalo nila sa mga big games, so global games. Anyway, also in the front page, members of the Senate and House of Representatives are set for the bicameral conference of the 2021 budget. Ang tanong, the question is, will they simply sign, agree, and pass on to the President? Or will there be a period of interpellation, questioning, and accusation? Kasi before budgets every time the Congress passes a budget thing to the Senate, di ba? May mga there are two, three, maybe four senators who are in the habit of, oy, sandali, medyo, bakit ganito, bakit ganon? Pagkatapos, bandang uli, mapapasa rin. Kumbaga, may aides as if doing something. Papering, pumapapel. Okay. In any case, let's move forward. Meanwhile, the stories at the lower part of the pages are, a Davao election official has been appointed as commissioner at the Commission of Elections. Ano pa ba ang bago? Siyempre, it is Davao's turn. A UP student who topped the 2020 physician's licensure exam was also a top-notcher for nursing 9 years ago. And congressmen renew their call, name names in the DPWH fiasco. Ayan na, sinabi ko. Kasi mag-uumpisa kayo ng gulo, panindigan ninyo. Yan sinasabi ko dyan kay Greco Bellica, di ba? I already defended your position. As you know, that it was difficult for an agency to go up against Congress. But the problem was when Greco Bellica and his team went to the president, sabi ni Presidente, tabla, co-equal branch yan, tabla. Wala, ayan. So binabakbakan na naman kayo ng mga congressman. In any case, those are the stories on the front page of the Philippine Star. And ayun po, medyo ingat po tayo kasi if you see the picture in the front page, may mga tao, I'm so grateful that people can now go to church. But please laang. Sabi ko nga sa anak ko, dun sa Holland pwede ba gumawa ka ng gigantic tsako? Yung bang umiikot parang propeller na 2 meters ang haba para people who can keep away from you for 2 meters. Di sa simbahan, ayun na naman, marami na namang magkakatabi, nakamask nga, nakashield nga, magkatatabi naman. In any case, let's move on to our guest today. We have with us Attorney Domingo Egon Cayosa, President of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Sir, good morning, Attorney.
Good morning, Cito, at magandang umaga sa mga nakikinig at nanonood sa atin.
Okay, relax lang tayo, sir. Friday naman kwentuhan lang tayo. First of all, bago tayo magkaseryosohan dito, tanong ko lang, many people know IBP, Integrated Bar of the Philippines, pero parang, alam mo, kung pilosopo, baka sabihin, pinagsama-sama ba yung mga bars and bartenders sa Pilipinas? Ganon, di ba? Sorry, papatawa lang ako, no? But what exactly is the Integrated Bar of the Philippines? What do you refer to by the word bar? And why do you have to integrate bars? Paki-explain nga for education naman.
But the Integrated Bar of the Philippines is the official and mandatory organization of all Filipino lawyers. So yung bar refers sa mga abogadong Pilipino. Yung integrated naman, pinagsama-sama ho kasi lahat ng mga abogado sa isang organisasyon sa pamamagitan ng batas, executive order during the time of President Marcos and adopted by the Supreme Court into the rules of court. So noon ho kasi hanggang ngayon, marami namang mga mas maliliit na specialized bar organizations, iba't ibang grupo ng iba't ibang klase ng mga abogado. Meron ding Judges Association, meron ding mga Labor Lawyers Association, Philippine Bar, at napakarami. Pero binuo lahat yan at require na dapat membro ka din ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines. So hindi ka pwedeng mag-practice ng batas, ng law sa Pilipinas kung hindi ka membro nito. So it is the umbrella organization. You can have other organizations as a lawyer, pero kinakailangang membro ka ng IBP para makapag-practice ng law sa ating
It is the National Registry of Lawyers, so to speak. And you are also the overseer, regulator of the excuse me, professional conduct of all lawyers, I suppose.
That is true. That is one of the official functions ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines na pinakamabigat na trabaho namin is to discipline our ranks. So kami ho ang profesyon na kung saan regularly every month the Board of Governors meet to consider yung mga reports ng mga hearing officers. So every month we handle about 30 to 40 cases, and some of them get disbarred. Most of these harassment suit lang naman, but about 10 to 20% may merito. So we decide on those, we send it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will adapt or modify our ruling or our recommendation. So mabigat po yun. And
Yeah. What does the word bar stand for? Kasi parang yun ang ano yung integrated, alam natin yan, Philippines. Pero ano yung bar? Bakit bar?
well, yeah, that comes from European, nauna yan, mga common law, ano. Kasi nga nandun sila sa baba. Ang bench naman yung mga huwes, nandun sila sa taas, nakaupo doon sa bench noon, no? So it is an archaic word actually. Mas maganda nga siguro sabihin na lang natin lawyers para mas maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan. Sa katunayan nga, pati yung aming ID, pinapabago ko na yan kasi nga, pag nakalagay Integrated Bar of the Philippines, maraming kababayan na hindi nakakaintindi ano ba yon. So, mas maganda siguro Filipino lawyer ang ilagay natin, maintindihan ng lahat na abogado ang tinutukoy pag bar ang pinag-usapan.
Okay, pero mag-iingat kayo yung pagbabago-bago ng symbol-symbol na yan. Nako, baka magaya kayo dun sa Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Ngayon, binabakbakan sila, sinasabi, yung kasi nagpalit ng symbol yung Bangko Sentral. Kaganda-ganda na nung Philippine Eagle caricature, pinalitan pa ng bagong agila na nagmukha silang plaka ng Earth, Wind, and Fire. The best of. Anyway, sinasabi ko lang, hindi ko naman, alam mo, friend ko naman si Governor Benjok, no? Kanya lang, hindi ko nga magawang i-text siya. But in any case, going back to the IBP, you mentioned that you are, your heaviest or most serious responsibility is to sanction, discipline lawyers. Matanong ko lang, ano ho ba ang most common offense na napaparusahan ng abogadong Pilipino?
Ang una ho dyan, yung violation of the notarial law. Kasi marami hong mga notary publiko na kung minsan napapalusutan. Yung bang patay na yung tao, nakakapirma pa, o kung minsan iba pala yung tao na nagdala ng ID. O kaya minsan nakakalimutan lang i-record. So ito ho, yung notarial malpractice is one of the most common offenses. Yung pangalawa ho naman, yung negligence sa kanilang trabaho. Kung minsan na-late sila, na-delay sila, o napapabayaan for one reason or the other. And then the third na common, and which is unique to us, yung questions of morality. Kasi kami ho, mas masahol pa ho ang higpit sa moralidad ng abogado kaysa sa mga pari siguro, no? Kasi ho, kahit it has nothing to do with our professional work, under our ethics and jurisprudence ng Supreme Court, dapat yung abogado moral. At kung merong nagre-report na dalawa ang asawa mo, o merong ang kabit, o kaya napabayaan mo yung pamilya, o kaya on issues of morality, pwede ho yung ground for disbarment or suspension. So, ito ho yung tatlo na malimit na ginagawa o kaya kino-complain.
Morality lang ba? Paano kung walang yang tatay o nanay? Kasi, di ba, you were talking about marital morality here, but what about, parental morality, if you would like to call it that? Nagiging kaso rin ba yun sa mga abogado kung biglang may mag-file at sabi, walang yaya abogadong yan, ginugulpi yung mga anak niya
Opo, it's not only on grounds of morality. Kasi yung canon number 1 ng aming canons of professional ethics ay any violation of the law, rules or regulations ng isang abogado can be the basis for an ethical or administrative charge. So talagang napakahigpit ho. So yung halimbawa, binubugbog ang asawa mo, pinapabayaan mo yung mga anak mo, that's a violation of your parental duty or marital duty o kaya yung violence against women and their children. So, pag yan nagawa, aside from the criminal or civil case, pwede ka pang kasuhan administratively under our Code of Ethics. So, catch all provision yan. Kaya ingat na ingat yung mga abogado.
Yung mga marami naman po akong kaibigan. You know, I have many lawyer friends, you know, and they're really nice people. In fact, they are a good representation of the profession. But there are also a handful or a few lawyers who are arrogant asses. I won't complete the term, pero talaga arrogante. Yung baga, kung di ka lang naging abogado, baka na disgrasya kita. What about arrogant, lawyers? Yung mga may, kasi para bang, I've seen this parang yung what they do in court, they bring out in public, yung parang, hello bro, wala ka sa korte, hindi ito debate sa korte, hindi ito sindakan.
Merong mga nasa-sanction dahil dyan. Kasi yung professional conduct ng abogado is not limited to his conduct in the court or when he's acting like a lawyer or in a lawyer's function. At meron ho yung mga nakakaaway sa kapitbahay, yung nantututok ng baril o yung nananakit, yung nananakot, they are sanctioned. Yung mga bastos na abogado, so meron. And then siguro ang maitanong ninyo, maraming naririnig sa media, publicly pa na nagmumura kung ano-ano pinagsasabi niya, nagsisinungaling, pero bakit hindi nasa-sanction? Nasa-sanction ho yan kung may kasong sinampa. Kaya kami lang kasi ho, sa Commission on Bar Discipline, confidentiality rule kasi yan the public will only know about it once na linabas na ng Supreme Court yung decision. So, we know that many lawyers in public, meron silang mga kaso at yung iba nga, ang dami na nilang mga patong-patong na sanction. Pero hanggat hindi natatapos, hindi nalabas ng Supreme Court, tahimik lang kami.
Ano ba yung promo, ano yung promoto ba yun? Yung on your own? I don't know if it...
proprio.
Ay, sorry, moto proprio. Like, yeah. Sorry, moto proprio. Can the IBP actually call in a lawyer? Yung bang mga nagpapasikat? There are lawyers na file ng kaso kahit na hindi naman sila direct party to the case, magpa-file lang sila, maghahakot sila ng media, photographer, etc. And then alam naman nilang madi-dismiss kasi they're not party to the case or wala silang connection, and the Supreme Court says dismiss. Parang do you have motu proprio actions on those kind of lawyers?
Well, under our rules, the Commission on Bar Discipline, the national leadership of IBP, can by itself look into this matter. Ang problema ko kasi, kung kami yung nagko-complain at kami rin yung nag-iimbestiga at kami din yung magre-recommenda kung ano ang ipapataw sa iyo na parusa, parang conceptually violation of due process. Kaya ang ginagawa namin, nananawagan kami sa publiko na mag-file naman kayo. Kasi kinakailangan din sa due process, may magtetestigo, magprepresenta ng ebidensya. But we do that actually, short of hearing the case. Pinapagsabihan yan dun sa chapter level at kami rin sa national. But in cases doon nabanggit mo, yung mga korte, the trial courts or the Supreme Court, after ruling on these frivolous cases, they actually refer to us for investigation. So nagiging complainant, kumbaga, nanggagaling yung referral sa Korte Suprema o kaya sa mga korte.
Okay. In any case, Attorney Cayosa, punta naman natin yung more serious matter for the day. Kasi alam mo, gusto ko lang talaga na mabigyan na rin ng feature yung mga personalities na naimbita namin, their organizations. But now, let's talk about the anti-terrorism bill, law, I mean. Kasi ang nag-gather ng team agenda ay may mga nakasuhan na raw based on the law. Meron pa raw dalawang ITA o ITA kasi yung iba ITA. Yung ITA dalawa na terror under the anti-terror law. Meron daw mga naso-surveillance na mga petitioners. How true is this? Ito ba sabi-sabi lang o para lang ma-cover sila ng media?
That is confirmed. Isa ho sa mga petitioner, dun sa 37 petitioners, yung National Union of People's Lawyers, NUPL. At dun sa meeting na ginanap namin, o finacilitate namin a few days ago, report nga nila na kliyente nila mga ito. At meron nang naaresto na 2 itak somewhere in Bataan, Zambales area. At ginagamit na itong anti-terrorism law. And we have also a public statement from some in the security sector proposing that this law be used, for example, to regulate social media. Hindi rin natin alam sa ating mga barangay, mga munisipyo, any policeman, kafgo, barangay tanod, or mayor or barangay captain can actually cite this law and start making arrests. That's what's dangerous. Kasi nga, yung batas na ito, pag ikaw pinagsuspetsahang terrorist for any act that may tend to cause damage or injury, pwede kang arestuhin, kulong for maximum of 20 days at hindi ka pwedeng tumakbo sa korte. So, ito ang kinakatakutan ng marami kasi kung hindi nga malinaw sa mga abogado yung mga provision, mas lalo na siguro dun sa ordinaryong law enforcer. So we don't want this to be misused by people on the ground. Kaya nga, kalakip dun sa petition sa Supreme Court ng karamihan sa 37 petitioners is a request for preliminary injunction. Yung bang habang binabalangkas ang mga issue na ito at yung mga question tungkol sa batas, kung maaari sana, huwag mo nang gamitin. So, pending ho yan sa Supreme Court at kahapon ay nag-file ulit ng reiterative joint motion this time yung mga petitioners requesting the Supreme Court to consider yung nauna ng motion nila or request for preliminary injunction.
How do you read this, attorney? Because I'm sorry, some of the Supreme Court magistrates are friends of mine, but that doesn't change the fact that some of them are also appointees of President Duterte. So one might say that they would be more inclined to side with government than with the petitioners. How do you read the situation? Do you still believe, or are you confident na it is flowing properly, yung speed ba of by which your petitions have been addressed okay naman, or medyo parang mukhang uphill itong labanan na ito?
Well, as lawyers, we have to believe and trust that members of the judiciary, once they're appointed, will say thank you to the appointing power, which is the president, and thereafter forget about any connection. So that's a sworn duty. Now, whether or not that happens is another thing, but as lawyers, we have to believe that and promote that concept. Secondly, in terms of pacing, nung may naghain initially, ay inaksyonan naman ito kaagad at pinakomment ang gobyerno, so the office of the Solicitor General. But if you note, Cito, marami kasing mga sumunod na mga petition. So over the months, may mga kanya-kanyang petition, kaya nga umabot ng 37 yan. So consolidate ng Supreme Court, and there was a public announcement earlier by the Chief Justice ng oral argument sometime in September. Hindi ho nangyari. Maari na yung COVID or whatever reason, at dahil din ho kasi marami yan, 37, at makakapal yung mga petition, they might have needed more time. The same time also, hindi lang yun eh. After nag-file yung mga partido, meron din sila mga ibang mga motion na fina-file over the weeks and the months subsequent to their filing of their petition. So, inaayos lahat ito at kami naman ay thankful na umusad na at tapos ng pre-trial uh, kahapon. So, we welcome that. The issues have been clarified. The Supreme Court and the petitioners have agreed to cluster the arguments and mag-assign ng mga oralist. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng lahat ng 37 for every issue magsasalita kasi limited time lang. So, it's also good na nabigyan yung mga partido at yung pati yung gobyerno, OSG, ng time para makapag-prepare. So, we all of us would wish na the sooner the better. But we have to understand also that the Supreme Court has many other cases. But we agree with you and all the petitioners that this is a very important case. And everyone is looking forward to the January oral argument.
Is this going to be one of those very serious matters that will require friends of the court, quote unquote, to appear during the trial ba ang tawag dito? Kasi noon, I remember in the past, kung minsan papatawag ng Supreme Court yung legislator o yung mga experts and sasabihin, paki-explika nga sa amin kung ano yung intention nyo nung ginawa ninyo ito. Or will the Supreme Court on its own essentially go by the books, by the judicial acts, decisions, etc.?
Well, the Supreme Court can opt to get friends of the court, yung mga retired justices, constitutionalists, yung mga talagang bihasa at marunong dito sa mga constitutional issues being raised. And we will not be surprised if they do that. Well, they don't have to do it. They can decide on their own. But we know that there were a number of prominent and eminent constitutionalists, former justices of the Supreme Court and other higher courts, who would have wanted to be counsel for the petitioners, but since baka sila ay iimbitahin bilang friends of the court to advise the court, nag-decline sila muna na maging counsel of any of the petitioners. So, that is possible. Yung mga legislators, partido sila dito, Cito eh. Remember, they are the respondents. Yung lower house at saka Senado. At paka yung presidente at saka yung executive branch. Kasi ang gumawa ng batas na ito, na sa tingin ng mga petitioners, may mga provision na labag sa konstitusyon, Kongreso eh, Senado at saka mga congressman. At ang nag-i-implement naman,
but
so lahat sila naihabla.
Yeah, but the proposed bill at the time, although crafted by legislation, was submitted and proposed by the executive, di ba? Sila yung okay, boss, pwede ba ninyong gawing batas to? Ginawang batas, pinasa. So lahat pala sila ngayon respondent. Attorney, we'll just go for a quick break. And when we come back, I'd like to ask you about the actual process because some people are wondering how on earth are they going to tackle this big case given the reality of COVID, given most people would rather just go Zoom. Pero alam ko noon naging issue yung Zoom na hindi pinapayagan yung mga mga not in person non-appearance. Okay, we'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here with Attorney Cayosa on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250 and on Facebook.com/OneNewsPH. And with us is the IBP President of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Attorney Domingo Cayosa. Attorney Cayosa, let's go back to that hanging question. How are you guys going to do the appearances before the court kung ganitong puro COVID? You mentioned earlier, medyo kinonsolidate na lang at may mga dinesignate na mga parang orators ba ang tawag doon. Pero paano yun? Mag-a-appear pa rin sila and then the magistrates will all come together kasi puro senior citizen lahat yun. With probably the exception of Justice Leon. Ano na nga ba yun? Yung tiga-UP.
Marvic Leone.
Marvic Leonen. Sabi ko parang lahat yata yan, senior citizen. Bakit pinapayagan lumabas lahat yan?
Well, hindi naman sila lahat senior citizen. Nandiyan din si Justice Hernando from Tuguegarao City, who's very young. And,
Okay.
but anyway, ang practice so far ng Supreme Court ngayon, they prefer that the case is heard in chambers. But they also have very strict COVID-19 protocols, precautionary measures. So kahapon, nung dumalo yung mga counsels ng 37 petitioners, they went through the process of yung screening and of course social distancing. Okay, so for now, yun ang policy ng Supreme Court. They prefer na nandun talaga yung mga parties and their counsels, except that they limit the number. Now, ang isa ring pinopropose dun sa pre-trial, kung maari, ay since may teknolohiya naman at ginagawa na ito sa mga trial courts, IBP ho, ang isa sa mga nag-a-advocate niyan yung gamitin natin yung Zoom and cyberspace, IT, technology, to make the wheels of justice run faster. Ina-adapt na yan ng fiscal, ng mga kapulisan, ng IBP itself, and then ng mga korte. So, ang proposal ng petitioners, kung pwede, dun sa mga pwedeng pumunta physical appearance, for those who will opt, kasi merong taga Mindanao, Muslim Mindanao, may taga Davao, may taga Cebu, may taga Iloilo, ay kung pwede daw, Zoom. So, ang sabi ng Supreme Court, pag-aaralan nila yan. So, they are looking into that para lang lahat ng mga petitioners at kanilang counsels, kahit wala doon, ay meron din silang knowledge real time dun sa proceeding. So, we hope that the Supreme Court will consider that favorably. Pinag-usapan naman kahapon. I think it will be decided by the whole court kasi malamang en banc naman ang hearing, yung oral arguments nito.
Okay, given what you just said, okay, meron na sa Mindanao, sa Visayas, etc., di naka-Zoom yan. So there are no guarantees that it will all be confidential, so to speak. Kasi ako, I could be interviewing you right now and it would seem like this is between you and me and all the viewers, but someone else could be watching from behind me. So, given that reality, what about the possibility of making the deliberations or the hearings public? Kasi napakaseryoso nitong batas na ito. The anti-terror law affects and can affect every Filipino now living and will be born in the years to come. Medyo kailangan siguro magkaliwanagan na ito ay talagang dinulog, dininig at pinag-aralan, pinagtalunan at nadinig ng buong Pilipinas. Will that ever happen given the history of the Supreme Court?
Well, that is ideal. Diba? Globally and anywhere else, good governance is transparent governance. So it's part of the proceedings. So in some cases, the Supreme Court allowed live coverage of proceedings in the trial court, or even in their court, and that's why the petitioners also raised that possibility. Again, it depends on the Supreme Court. Dito naman, Sito, wala na masyadong problema tungkol sa Zoom sa tingin ko, kasi nga naman, wala namang ebidensya na masyado na iahat. It's all legal arguments eh.
Yeah,
And
it's not about a person, it's about a law. So
yes,
there are no emotions, there are no characters that need to be defended or protected.
yes. So wala nang mga witnesses, legal arguments lang yan. So that's one less problem, kasi kung minsan kung may witness, eh baka nga naman hindi nakikita dun sa Zoom, eh tinuturuan na yung witness. But that is another thing that can be addressed in so many creative ways. But ito, legal arguments lang. So, ang main issue na siguro i-consider nila is connectivity. But, that now is a risk that the petitioner requesting for Zoom has to take, no? Kung ayaw na, kung gusto nila makasiguro, punta sila physically. But if they trust their connectivity, pwede naman. It will now depend on the Supreme Court if they will allow that. But ideally, it would help this country if our people would know what are the issues, what are the arguments, and kasi from outside, yung mga dakilang meron na hindi naman na alam o nakinig dun sa mga talagang talastasan sa loob, madaling magkomento eh. But there are nuances of the law that they might not know. So again, depende ho sa timplan ng Supreme Court. Will they open it to the public? Ang isa ring ina-avoid dyan, Sito, kasi is kung yung may publicity o kaya nakikita ng taong bayan, baka may mangantyaw. may mga mangantyaw.
Or baka ma-pressure dahil may publicity, gagamitin yung media para i-pressure yung mga magistrates to go one way or the other.
Well, ganito, yung pressure na yan, that's very true pag jury system tayo. Yung mga members of the jury, ordinary citizens, hindi alam ang rules of evidence at baka nakikinig yan sa media o kaya sa mga sabi-sabi ng taong bayan. Kaya nga, hindi pwede na ma-publicize yung kwan. In our system kasi, civil law country tayo, ang magdidesisyon lang dito, yung mga mahistrado, mga court, mga huwes at mga justices. Ito, dalubhasa, na-train sila na alam nila ang rules of evidence, alam nila yung batas, at kumpadil sila na kahit anong sabihin sa labas, kung ano ang naihain na ebidensya at ng batas dun sa kanilang korte, yun lang ang titignan. So they are really trained theoretically to disregard outside noise, kahit meron, and still focus on the facts, the evidence, and the law. So we don't, and we trust that they do that. So yung argument na yan, hindi ho naman, siguro nga yung iniiwasan din ko minsan, yung baka mambabastos yung taong bayan, mangangantyaw. At ayaw din ng Supreme Court at ng mga partido na ito mauwi dun sa away ng mga partido o kanilang mga abogado. No? Kantyawan. It's really an issue of constitutionality and the law na pwedeng pag-usapan na minus the kantyawan. Kasi pag yan kasi anybody can make a comment already at may hirapang i-control siguro yung ng taong bayan.
I'll have to end it at that, attorney, and my only prayer and following what you've said, the magistrates are all veteran lawyers. They are men and women who know the law by heart and who have integrity. So let's just all pray that at the end of the day, each and every one of them will consider that the decision they make on this matter will impact generations to come. Thank you very much, Attorney Cayosa, for your time today.
Thank you, Cito, at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Okay, yan po si Attorney Domingo Egon Cayosa, President of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. I think we will go for a quick break. Di ko lang alam. And then I think we will hopefully may makukuha natin si Mayor Marcy ng Marikina. Wait a minute, I'm just checking this. Okay, we'll go for a quick break. And when we return, we continue with our updates regarding the things happening all around us here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and normally I tell Team Agenda, let's not bother officials who are dealing with big problems like, let's say, floods, etc. Ayoko na pong makadagdag sa perwisyo sa kanila. But sometimes, kailangan din po naman that we call them a few days later so that people will remember that these mayors and their constituents are still dealing with major problems and headaches. Particular ngayon would be the city of Marikina and Mayor Marcy Chodoro. Kamustahin natin? Let's find out from Mayor Chodoro. Mayor Marcy, good morning.
Good morning, Cito, and to all those listening to us this morning.
Okay, pasensya ka na. I don't want to bother you, don't want to interrupt your schedule, but, I just want to update many of our viewers who may still want to help the city of Marikina and you kung paano man makatulong. What is the situation in Marikina now, Mayor?
Cito, we're concentrating on physical rehabilitation, meaning we're clearing 2,452 roads, both major and minor roads. And we are siguro ngayon mga 60% of the clearing operation. Our baseline data is that of Undoy. It took us around 3 months, but we're trying to finish it within the month, hopefully by end of September or first week of December. Excuse me, Tito.
Yeah, it's okay.
Hopefully we could finish everything in clearing. The idea really is for people evacuate to have access back to their homes. and similarly to avoid diseases related to flooding. So yun yung yung priority namin. Of course, we're doing relief works here in the city as well as we're distributing our social amelioration with our residents so that yung perang matanggap nila kahit paano maging economic stimulus dun sa local economy namin. Mahirap ang buhay dito eh. Maraming walang trabaho ngayon dahil sa pandemic. Tapos napinsala kami ng baha. Kaya tingin ko kailangan yung mga ganitong economic stimulus natin, yung mga assistance that we are providing to our residents in Marikina.
Yeah, Mayor Marcy, what about relief goods and mga support from NGOs, churches, etc.? Kasi sa Facebook, nakikita ko na marami akong mga kilala who are driving out to Bicol, the Bicol region, sa Catanduanes, etc., to help. Pero sabi ko, teka, meron bang nagpupunta dyan sa Marikina? What is the situation there, Mayor?
Dito, yung bayanihan, dito, sorry, hindi masyado lang maganda yung signal ko rito, pero from what I understand is that marami tayong tumutulong na mga kababayan coming from other areas, other LGUs, private organizations, as well as individuals. We are doing all our share now. Yung mga Pilipino talaga yung bayan niya lakas eh. At nakikita natin na I think we could survive because of that. At hindi nagiging mahirap ang buhay dahil nagtutulong-tulong.
Okay.
Sa lahat ng aspeto, hindi lang sa relief, pati sa nakikita ko kasi the real problem here is yung economic rehabilitation. It will take a while for us, a period of time. Pero meron dito, di ba, mga employer pumupunta dito sa Marikina, nag-aalok ng trabaho doon sa aming mga kababayan. And yun ang nakakatulong talaga, yung opportunity for employment. Yun ang nawawala kaya ito naman yung meron dito ngayon. Even emergency employment coming from the national government, naririto at Department of Labor. PTI and DSWD are offering livelihood assistance to our residents here in Marikina, and we very much appreciate those efforts by the national agency.
Mayor, what about the COVID-19 situation? Because a few days after the flood, medyo yun ang lumabas sa balita, yung miscommunication or misappreciation of the COVID cases, lalo na sa mga centers. Ano ang situation nyo ngayon?
Yes. Cito, to give an overview, before Typhoon Ulysses, we have around 275 cases. And a week ago, we have 183 cases, active cases. And now we have 112 cases. We are, it is noteworthy to mention that we are actively conducting contact tracing even during the typhoon and periods of typhoon, and even after, ngayon, nagsuswab kami continuously because we have the testing center here in Marikina.
Yes.
Ito sa mga distinct advantage namin dito. May testing center kami. Tapos, we have surveillance testing talaga as a program, part of our health service program. So, dun sa 12,000 families na nag-evacuate, nag-surveillance testing kami sa mga evacuation centers. Meron kaming nakikitang o na-detect na 185 reactive. Ibig sabihin, reactive sila sa antibody. May infection sila. Pero it does not follow na meron silang COVID. Ano? Then, nag-PCR test kami. Nung mag-PCR test, dito, may 5 kaming nakita positive cases. More or less, ang positivity rate namin is less than 1%, 0.5% to 0.7%. And that is way below the regulatory limit set by the World Health Organization. So, manage. Pero ang sikreto talaga dito ay early detection, yung dapat may surveillance testing. So, we have deployed contact tracers even when our residents evacuated in evacuation centers. So, nag-shift lang from communities pumunta na evacuation centers. Ngayon, balik kami sa community. And siguro, because we're able to detect it earlier, na bibigay yung medical supportive treatment, tapos na-isolate na nako-contain sila. Necessary yung you have the sufficient and safe facilities for them. Yung quarantine facility kayo. Siguro yun lang, dapat meron kayong infrastructure talaga for not only for testing but for effective quarantine.
Yeah, there's no question that you have been leading Marikina exceptionally well. You have been proactive. Napatayo mo na kagad yung testing center. The people of Marikina have been working hand in hand and successful. My worry about the situation, Mayor Marcy, nauubos ang pera ng maraming mga LGU dealing with COVID. Sabay tinamaan pa kayo dyan ng baha katulad ng Ondoy. Where are you now in terms of money, in terms of budgets, and of course, dahil walang business, wala ring tax, saan kayo kukuha ng panggastos?
Tito, that's a good question, and that's true, kasi 5% of the regular source of income is allotted for us calamity fund, and 30% of that quick response fund. Candid about it, ang quick response fund na lang namin, as we speak, mga nasa 12 million na lang. So maliit na lang ito. So we needed to realign some of the items in the budget for COVID response and for calamity as calamity fund. So, nag-re-assess ng mga priorities, nag-direct ng on-the-resign other ng mga budget budgetary items natin. Talaga may nasa petition dito sa mga ilan naming mga long-term development projects. Yung ibang infrastructure projects namin na hindi related sa flood mitigation o flood control, ayun, nasa application namin yun para dun sa mas importante at mahalaga. Of course, we capitalize also on the assistance.
Okay, Mayor? Ayun po, mukhang naputol si Mayor. We will try to call him again because the big concern now for places like Marikina City, a lot of the LGUs all over the Philippines, pag tinanong nyo, paubos na yung kanilang mga budgets because of COVID-19. Yung mga testing, mga contact tracing, mga quarantine areas, etc. Talagang maraming local governments ubos yung kanilang pera just with COVID-19. Now, when you have a situation in Marikina where the businesses were all flooded or majority were flooded, sara yung mga iba, problema yan. Ayun, Mayor Marcy, you're back?
Dito, yun nga, overstretched na yung budget natin sa COVID response, tapos dumating pa itong succession of typhoon sa Marikina. Tapos ito pang nangyari sa amin sa Ulysses, ang expense ito similar to that of Undoy.
Yes.
Hindi ordinaryong baha people helping one another, and you have a government that is supported by your constituency, nagiging madali naman talaga yung pagkilos.
But paano?
Gusto ko lang paliwanag mabuti. Alam mo, sa paglilinis at clearing na ginagawa namin, yung aming mga residente rito tumutulong. Not only physically, but pati yung hindi naman manpower na pati yung resources nila. Kanina lang dito, I received some donation coming from our residents from other barangay na hindi affected, helping the one barangay that is heavily affected by the flooding. Ayun naman, tingin ko na kaya nagkakatulong-tulong kami. Even yung mga barangay namin, yung budget nila, kasi malaki naman talaga ang budget dito kung titingnan mo sa kabuuan. Nasa pag-allocate lang. Siguro ganun yun eh. Tapos pag pinagtutulong mo, if you have a whole of government approach, the resources that you're getting, the assistance you're getting from the national, you have your local government funds, and you have the barangay funds. If you synchronize everything and you adopt you have a framework that's addressing that you have a focus on the priority. Palagi ko makaka-survive dito. Yun yung ginagawa namin ngayon dito.
Okay.
Talagang pinag-usapan namin kung ano yung mahalaga. Tapos there are donations coming in from the private sector. So, pati yun, naka-direct doon sa aming Ngayon talaga, like livelihood, economic rehabilitation sa mga tao, yung assistance na binibigay sa financial, hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Financial, para yung gagastusin nila makatulong sa local economy namin. Bibilan halimbawa na sari-sari store o variety store. Bibili yun sa palengke. Yung puwinelan sa palengke, aangkat ng produkto o yung sinunang produkto magpuproduce. Yung ganon dito, we're thinking of that also.
Okay. So you don't...
binibigay namin.
Okay, so hindi ka kailanganing mangutang pa ang Marikina o kaya there won't be any need to sell some of the government property, local government property or anything kasi yung mga ganon.
If we're going to apply for a loan facility for the city, it will be for long-term development. For example, Cito, we're thinking of putting up a fiber optic network for the whole city. Kasi ang problem namin, wala kaming isang business district dito sa Marikina. We don't have a commercial area similar to that of Quezon City or Manila. Kung mag-loan man kami, not siguro for a long-term economic development, na yung effect then will be on a long-term basis if the city will apply for such loan.
Okay, well, it's good. Yes, sir.
Dito, na ma-manage naman namin yung budget namin. Tulong-tulong lang talaga yung budget ng barangay, budget ng city. Talaga dito, there's a whole of government approach here in Marikina.
Okay. Maganda naman, Mayor, that you are approaching it much like a corporate executive, consolidating, prioritizing, at nagko-cooperate lahat ng tiga Marikina. Thank you very much, Mayor. We are glad to know that you are on survival, recovery mode already, and babangon din po ang Marikina. We believe that.
Oh yeah, thank you, Cito. Salamat din sa oportunidad at sa lahat ng naitutulong natin dito sa Marikina. Mabuhay ka, mabuhay.
Okay, thank you. That's Mayor Marcy Chudoro. Alam nyo, masarap mapakinggan yung ganun na may confidence yung leader mo, yung mayor mo, o yung namumuno sa'yo. It's good to hear that you have someone who is not going with the begging bowl. Yung, naku po, kami po'y dapang-dapa na, wala na kaming magagawa, tulungan niyo po kami. Hindi ganun yung tono ni Mayor eh. Yeah, tono ni Mayor Marcy Chodoro, yes, tinamaan kami. We're hit hard by this typhoon, by COVID. But if we put our resources together, we prioritize, alisin na natin yung non-essential and magtulungan tayo, and then also recognizing the help of the national government, the help of NGOs, the help of unaffected barangays. You know, it creates a sense of kaya natin to. We can do this. We will manage this and we will overcome this. Yun po yung madilig. Kasi he's not only giving us an assessment of what they suffered and what they're doing, but he's also telling us what they will be doing. Di ba? Kumbaga, past, present, and future. Sabi ko nga, akala ko, malamang mangungutang itong mga to. Kasi wala na silang pera, baka magbebenta ng mga property ng government. Kasi yun, madalas kong madinig doon sa national government, bebenta na lang daw yung mga propiedad sa Tokyo. Eto, iba eh. Di ba? Ayusin lang natin yan. Lista natin lahat kung ano meron tayo. And then, larga, laban tayo. And that's a good thing. And we really ask all our viewers, pagdasal po natin. Let's pray for the people of Marikina. Let's pray for the people kahit dito po sa amin sa Pasig. Wala kayong masyadong madidinig. Tinamaan din ng Pasig. Pero dito, gawa ng gawa yung mayor. At trabaho ng trabaho si Mayor Vico at yung mga konseho at mga tiga-Pasig. They're working. They're not making a big fuss out of it. Trabaho lang. Kaya natin to. So that's, I think, a good sign. So we'll go for a break, but I just want to encourage all of you, pray for those people. Pray for Marikina, Pasig, Isabela, Cagayan, Bicol, the entire Bicol region, and Aurora. No, wag niyo pong kalimutan yung Aurora. Tinamaan din sila. Kapatid din natin yung mga tiga Aurora. We'll be right back after this quick break. Okay, you're back here on Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching us via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250, as well as facebook.com/onenewsph. And malamang at malamang, yan ang ginagamit ng ating next guest, none other than strength and conditioning coach, Chappy Callanta, who is now on the road. Chappy, good morning to you. Chappy? Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Chappy, may nilabas yung World Health Organization guidelines na kailangan daw adults who should have at least 2.5 hours of moderate to vigorous physical activity. Posible ba yan under COVID-19, under our realities of quarantine?
Well, yes, actually, that has been my whole message throughout the quarantine. And I hope everybody can hear me right now. Pero kung mawala-wala, sorry po. Pero yung po yung message ko, there are a lot of ways that you can get that 150 minutes of sleep on a weekly basis, di ba? If you do the math, really, it's just doing, if nahihirapan kayo mag-continuous na 20 to 30 minutes, then you can break it down to maybe 2 or 3 bouts of 8 to 10 minutes routine that you can do. Tapos, adds up at the end of the day or at the end of the week. Marami kasi nasa-stuck sa number na yun, parang napaka-daunting. Hindi nila bakit paano ko makakuha yun. But if you can break it down to smaller increments, possible po siyang makuha.
Okay, malaki ba ang success rate when you break down this exercise modules or exercise workouts to smaller, shorter time?
I wouldn't say it's a bigger success rate, but I will say it's a different option. So for the people who cannot commit to or do not have the time, do not have the time to do 30 to 45 minutes of exercise, another option. Is it a superior option? Maybe not. Pero for the population na ganun, at least it's another option to have. Now, kung meron kayong 30 to 40 minutes, then it's very possible. There are a lot of you can do at home. There are a lot of programs you can follow. The whole idea talaga na to keep on moving and to be as mobile as you can.
Okay. Yeah, Chappy, itong nilabas na guidelines ng World Health Organization, ano ba, kasi may mga nagsasabi sa akin, wala yung mga ginagawa nyo, kailangan nyo ng cardio, you need to walk fast and far, etc. Sabi ko, ikaw kaya maging senior citizen, tingnan ko kung maka-walk fast and far ka, tingnan ko lang.
The whole idea is to increase your heart rate. So to increase the heart rate that you're experiencing, and the way you can do that is to increase the intensity of the exercise. Now, if you don't have a lot of space, ang ginagawa ko sa mga kliyente ko, for example, we do running or jogging or high knees in place, and then we do it in intervals. Instead of going down tuloy-tuloy, we do high intensity or high to moderate intensity intervals for a shorter period of time. Will it make a longer bout? Probably not, pero you'll get closer at least. You'll get something.
Okay, parang yung mga sineswerteng may treadmill, sige, dun ka sa treadmill. Pero kung wala kang treadmill, regular person ka lang, meron kasi ako nakita, nilagay ba yung bisikleta sa stand? Tapos sabi ko, ano silbi niyan? Inangat mo lang yung gulong sa likod. Oo, parang exercise bike. Nakakatulong ba yun, Chappy?
If I heard that right, yung gulong, yung exercise, actually, I think what you're referring to, and this is another category of exercise, we call it lifestyle physical activity. Kasi yung exercise, di mo naman siya mapabox lang sa four walls of a gym. If you think about exercise and physical activity, a lot of the things that we do on a daily basis are actually active. Now, the rate of how we do those things might not be as much as we need it. So, yung mga daily household chores,
Oo.
you do a lot of them. Parang ako nga, ginagawa ko, nag-rearrange ako minsan ng challenges para lang magkaroon ng activity. There are a lot of things that you can do to increase that, what I call activity count or step count. Around it.
Mabuti sinabi mo yan, Chappy. Kasi I've been telling some friends, gayahin na lang nila yung ginagawa ko. Ako, nagwawalis ako ng buong bahay. Pagkatapos kong walisin, ini-spray ko ng tubig na may konting sabon or something. And then, manual kong pinupunasan. Aba, pagkatapos nun, masakit na yung katawan ko at pawisan na ako. So, you're saying that, housework also qualifies as exercise.
Yeah, definitely. So like what I said, those are lifestyle and physical activities. What you will need to experience though is yung sabi ng World Organization na meron kayong medyo hang intensity. What can increase your heart rate? So around 60 to 75%. So kung magagawa niyo yun, usually it's around 120 beats per minute. Kung kaya niyo makahanap na activity like climbing stairs, for example, going up and down stairs, kung meron kayong ganun, pwede niyo gawin. Ang importante, umabot kayo sa heart rate.
Okay, iba yung heart rate kaysa sa blood pressure, ano? Kasi yung iba akala nila pag tiningnan nila yung credit card bill nila, tumaas yung blood pressure nila, pareho na yun. Okay, what other suggestions do you have, Chappy? Kasi okay, good idea yon, yung housework, yung house cleaning, yung renovation, yun lang paglipat-lipat ng mga paso at sa mga plantito at plantita, para na rin sila nagbuhat ng barbell nun.
Yes, tama po yun. One more suggestion that I can give, if I may, skip rope. You don't need a lot of space. Kung kaya nyo mag-skip rope, na po siyang magandang option kasi you don't need a lot of space.
Okay, but hindi ba yung skipping rope para sa mga bata lang, Chappy? Because I mean, the older you get, your knees basically go. They have a mind of their own.
I understand. So what I do para sa mga older population po, we call it imaginary skip rope. So maski hindi talaga siya nag-skip rope, pero you do the action of skipping or hopping. Hindi mo po siya masyadong hindi naman siya masyadong as long as you keep it at a low time. Kasi tataas talaga heart rate yan sa skip rope na exercise. Pero kung meron talaga yung mga joint problem, then I recommend brisk walking or brisk walking in place or climbing upstairs.
Okay, so brisk walking, imaginary skip rope, doing household cleaning. May mga iba dyan, pinagtatawanan yung dishwashing. Ewan ko, ikaw, Chappy, ikaw ba, nagagawa mo bang maghugas ng mga pinggan, plato at kaldero?
Yan po actually yung trabaho ko sa bahay.
Pareho tayo. Pareho tayo, kusinero na ako, dishwasher pa ako. Aba, kanya manipis lagi yung braso ko dahil nakakapagod na trabaho yun.
Yun siya, di ba? Pero again, yung mga yun, they add up yung mga ganong plastic yun. They add up. So, tignan siya as sports, tignan niya as extra physical activity.
Okay, what about all this, nutrients, vitamins, etc.? Kailangan pa ba yun or pwede na yung basta kumain ka lang maraming gulay at saka prutas, solve ka na?
Okay, kung wala naman kayo nutrient deficiency, which you do have it, I suggest you consult a nutritionist and dietitian or your physician kung meron kayong alam na nutrient deficiency. Pero kung wala naman kayo nutrient deficiency, you should get of your nutrients from whole foods. So, mga plant sources, animal sources, if you do meat, and of course, our natural carbohydrates that you can see here in the Philippines. Huwag kayo matakot kumain ng kanin. Huwag kayo matakot kumain ng patatas. Huwag kayo matakot kumain ng ganun. Kasi importante rin yan para sa ating health.
Okay. I think we lost Chappy there. Are you still there, Chappy?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. So wag matakot sa kanin, patatas, saging, basta importante mag-exercise, mag-workout.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. Okay. Any final suggestion or last any other idea that our viewers can follow? Kasi maganda yung sinabi mo na maglinis lang ng bahay, malaking bagay na eh. Tapos balanced diet. Ano pa?
Yes, sir. So, ako lang, ang suggestion ko din is don't overthink it. Yung recommendation ng WHO is, of course, very much welcome and sound. Tignan niyo po yung nasa paligid ninyo sa bahay, kung ano yung pwede gawin. If you can, try to do some form of resistance training. So, yun yung mga tipong push-ups, squats, running in place, yung mga calisthenic work na you don't need extra, you don't need to pay for weight, for example. Look around you look for opportunities around you. And then just live a healthy and balanced life that you get enough movement, getting enough exercise, and eating the right food.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Chappy, and I hope we can hook up one of these days para online video and so that we can really interact dito sa mga workout and exercise requirements for people under COVID quarantine. Thank you very much, Chappy. Okay, yun po si Coach Chappy Callanta, strength and conditioning coach, and that discussion was in relation to the World Health Organization new physical activity guidelines recommending that adults get at least 150 minutes or 2.5 hours of moderate to vigorous physical activity. For children, at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise each day. Children up to 17. For adults up to age 64, katulad ko, at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate aerobic activity or minimum 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous aerobic exercise per week to reduce the risk of early death, heart disease, hypertension, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. Okay, so yan na po. You can choose to do housework this weekend. You can choose to do stationary or resistance exercises. It's really all up to you, but the thing is, for you to do it. Ako, I'm doing all of that already, and starting Monday, I made a promise to my darling wife Karen na I will go back to the gym to do the corrective. Kasi marami po sa atin, ako pumayat, pero ang problema, nakaganon yung katawan ko. Kasi may pilay, may opera, kailangan ngayon ibalik, i-align para mas maayos yung lakad. Anyway, I hope you all get your exercise and of course that you also all get your rest over the weekend. Happy weekend. That's agenda for you. And God bless all of you.